Hello, everyone. My name is Ronaldo. I'm the General Manager of Looker at Google Cloud, and today I'll be joined with Ronny Elkayam, Senior Vice President of Wix, to share with you what we think about going beyond business intelligence for Looker. I'll start off with a quick introduction and vision, then I'll pass the ball on to Ronny so he can share their story, and we close with a short Q&A. I'd like to start by sharing with you the mission of Google Cloud. It's our mission to accelerate every organization's ability to transform through data powered innovation. And I'm highlighting here transform through data. The reason I'm highlighting is because we believe data is at the heart of digital transformation. And if you think a little bit about what Google has done to the internet, it has made it simple and actionable at scale to billions and billions of users. This system, while apparently simple, is really complex, and you can see it's based on data and analytics. So it's fair to say that data and analytics is at the heart of our DNA. However, to actually leverage that data and make it really useful in our work, we have to rethink BI. And what do I mean by rethinking BI? Well, let me start a little bit with our personal lives. In the last 20 years, there's been quite a revolution. We're sitting down and watching our favorite streaming service. We're actually going from point A to point B. We're shopping online. We're exercising and looking at our smartwatch. There's data everywhere. It's seamlessly integrated into our daily lives, and we don't even think about it. We just take it for granted. Now we go to work, and we kind of expect the same thing. We're not quite there yet. We believe at Google Cloud that data can and will transform the way we work. But for us to achieve that, we have to rethink how the data is being delivered. It's not necessarily the way that we do it today, and that's why we're thinking that there must be a new way to do what we call business intelligence at work. So we believe we should provide data experiences for everyone. If I go back the last couple of decades, we used to actually have reports, dashboards, and there's been quite a lot of innovation that has gone on, making it easier, faster, simpler to build those reports, fancier visualizations, high interactivity. Let's not ignore that. Quite amazing. But basically solving the same problem, visual discovery, dashboards, reports, which is one way to deliver data. Information workers need data delivered in different ways. If I'm chatting with someone over a collaboration app like Slack or Google Chat, I like data to be infused in that chat. If I'm writing a Google Doc, I like to add data to it in a natural manner. Or if I'm actually figuring out a particular workflow, maybe I want it fed by a machine learning algorithm based on data that I have. So all of these experiences, they're different. And they're not the classic dashboard and reporting that we've been accustomed to at work. So we have to evolve and explore data experiences for everyone. That's what Looker offers as a platform to build data experiences for everyone, beginning from the classic and well-loved dashboards and reports that we all use to data experiences integrated into your workflows and rich custom applications, such as the one that Ronny will share with us from Wix. The way Looker achieves that is through three fundamental architectural principles. So number one is everything that we do is exposed through APIs in a cloud native way. So whatever we do ourselves, you can do it. You can embed in your application and can integrate into your workflow. Second, we have a very rich semantic modeling layer that allows, in a collaborative manner, for people to identify and declare how a piece of data relates to another, how two pieces of data are combined to produce a certain metric. So it can be safe and secure that you're governing the use of your data in the best possible way. And last but not least, we have a mean database architecture where any question asked of Looker is directly sent to the database to provide you fresh and fast real-time data. And we're also integrating the Looker platform with Google products and solutions. So, for example, we're focusing on three main areas. First, a way to improve the effectiveness of actions you take from your data. Second, a way to optimize workflows. And third, a way to expand the impact of augmented analytics in your applications. Let me give you a couple of examples on each of those. So, on improving the action with data, the Looker for Google Marketing platform allows you to analyze and segment your customers so that you can then activate them through the customer match function into Google Ads. On the workflow optimization, we launched a Looker multi-cloud cost management solution that allows you to understand your cloud spend across multiple clouds and slice and dice your billing the way you want. And last but not least, I'm very proud to announce the launch today of two new solutions using the Looker platform to expand the impact of augmented analytics in your organization. First is an advance of our application for the contact center AI in the Insights module. And second is the ability to surface structured data extracted from raw patient notes using the healthcare NLP API, all done with the Looker platform using those three core principles that I mentioned to you. And why it's very nice to actually talk about what Google's doing, what Looker is doing, Google products and solutions, it's just amazing to see what our customers are doing. And with that, I'd like to introduce you to Ronny, who will share with us what they're doing at Wix. Ronny, on to you.
Thank you, Ronaldo. Happy to be here. My name is Ronny Elkayam. I'm leading several groups in Wix. I'm here to share the story about the Wix Analytics initiative. So we're not talking about analytics for our use as a company, but we're talking about analytics for the usage of our users. And I'll explain briefly. So Wix, several words about Wix. Wix was founded in 2006 with a simple mission to empower everyone to create, manage, and grow online. We started as a simple Flash, beautiful but simple Flash website builder, and then we moved into HTML, HTML5, and so on. But Wix is not just about website. The website is just the tip of the iceberg. Um, when you start a business, you use a website. That's your online presence. But then you need all the tools to create and manage your community or your business. The tools means that if you're a restaurant, you need tools to manage your restaurant. If you're a store, you need somewhere to manage your inventory and to manage your fulfillment and so on. So that's Wix. We're split into many verticals for many usage of businesses and communities. Some facts about Wix: we're more than 200 million users. I think the last number is 210 million users. More than 5 million of them are premium users, paying users, businesses that are using Wix as a platform. And we're adding 3 million users every month. We're 5,000 employees, and as you can understand, we're spread across most of the country. We as a company, Wix as a company, is a very customer centric and data driven. Everything that we do in Wix, every product that we launch, every new feature that we ship is based on data, either on the user need and then measuring and improving that, or based on data about what we see as something that can be beneficial. So this is where we decided that our success as a company needs to move also into the success of our users. So when our users are succeeding, we are succeeding. So the mission of the Wix Analytics initiative is to allow any Wix user with a business or a community to make quality data-driven decisions for running its business or the community. So we need to provide the data, but more importantly, to also provide meaningful insights and actions, suggested actions. So that's Wix Analytics. We started the journey like a year and a half ago, something like that, and we had many points to consider. First, the scale. We're talking about 200 million users. Everyone gets analytics in Wix, so that's a lot of users. The latency. We wanted to have smooth experience. We wanted to make sure that there is no data delay between what happens on the website and on the app and what the user sees on his dashboard. We needed to consider diversity. We have businesses, like I said, from restaurants to stores to events to community to blog. So all kinds of different needs, and obviously data. The solution range from basic users to business analysts that we have in some of our customers. It needs to be user friendly because Wix is about ease of use and simplicity and making sure that we get the most out of the UI. Definitely cost is an issue, and time to market. We wanted to get a solution really, really fast. So lots of points to consider, and we went ahead and defined our data strategy. So we decided that we wanted a consolidated warehouse. Let me explain. In Wix, since we're dealing with lots of different users and lots of different solutions that we provide for users, we have many databases that holds data, production data. So you can imagine that the production data of restaurants is completely different from the production data of events. So we needed to consolidate all these databases into a single data warehouse. The next thing we wanted is near real time in terms of data visualization. So we needed to be aggressive there. And we wanted maximum flexibility. And that was really, really important. Maximum flexibility means that we're not doing pre aggregation. When you're doing pre aggregation, you're very limited to the aggregation that you did. So the next thing we struggled with is should we make it or should we buy it? And we went ahead and we did some tests and we figured out that there are many pros for the make, but there are also pros for the buy. Let me go quickly through them. So if we make a solution, then it's going to be very similar to the experience that we have in Wix. It's going to be very streamlined. Users will not understand where the analytics product start and when the dashboard or the restaurant product starts. The second point is we have full control on the roadmap. When we need a feature or when our users are coming with a need to a feature, it's immediately developed. And the last thing is that it's tailored to all the types of the users that we have in Wix. But there are also pros to buy. First is time to market. If we want something really quick, then we need something that is remade, already made and ready for use. The second is the feature set and knowledge. Definitely, there are companies out there that knows better on analytics than Wix does on analytics. So this is a big pro for the buy solution, for the buy strategy. And the next is the total cost of ownership, meaning how much longer will I need to maintain code base that I wrote in house versus just paying maintenance for a third party. When you write a line of code in Wix, then you maintain it for the rest of the product's life. So that's something that is costly. We all know that. So at the end of the day, we've decided to build analytics, but based on third-party product. This is why I'm here. I'm explaining about Wix and the Looker Corporation. But this is how our dashboard looks like, and as you can see, it looks very similar to the Wix experience. It has the colors of Wix. It has the look and feel of Wix. It's almost as seamless as it can be. Another example in the integration that we did is the integration inside the mobile app. So Wix provides a mobile app for owners to see their data and to see it in a native application. So we integrated Looker inside our native application. As you can see, it's very similar to the UI and to the experience that we have in the native application. This is how it looks like inside the main business dashboard in Wix. So this is the main business dashboard. Most of the things here are not Looker or not data or not analytics. As you can see on the right side, there is UI that we've built in Wix and that is using the APIs from Looker to fetch the data and to show it in the main dashboard. This is the dashboard that every Wix user is going through. Just another glimpse on the mobile app. This is how it looks like with our own UI and data fetched from Looker Analytics. But analytics, and in Wix we consider ourselves very mature in terms of understanding data and understanding analytics. It's not about data display. Data display is just an essential part of it. It's mainly about other things. It's mainly about the insights. How do you digest the data and provide meaningful insights for our users? The actions, this is the most, I think, the most important part. The actions that we recommend users to do when they're dealing with their analytics data, alerts to make sure that they know that something is wrong or good, anomaly detection, scheduled emails because you want to see the data on your email as well. Industry benchmark to compare yourself to others. So this is much more than analytics. This is the strategy of data in Wix. And so, what's next for us? So, we have lots of features, lots of reports, lots of verticals to do. But one of the things that we're very interested to do, and actually we're releasing an initial version this week, is to provide sales forecast and personalized suggestions. So, as I mentioned, we have a diversity of different users. We want to be able to show them what they're going to make if they're going to do several actions in terms of sales and in terms of traffic. So that's the forecast. Personalized suggestions are very, very important because generic suggestions usually don't work for everyone. So we need to tailor that. That's something that we can see here on the screen, how it looks like. So you can see the top line is how sales are going to look like with additional marketing, for example, how the forecast looks like in the future, and how the bottom line, without any marketing, how the sales going to look like. So that's the forecast that we're dealing. So again, just to wrap up, our vision and mission, our mission is to allow any Wix user to make quality data-driven decisions for running a successful business or community. And with that, I'll pass it back to Ronaldo.
Thank you very much, Ronnie. That was very insightful. Thank you for sharing the story of Wix with us. I'd like us now to go through a small Q&A session. Now, kick this off with a fun one. If you were a customer of Wix yourself, what would your website be called?
Oh, so I think it will be probably about leadership because I'm really fascinated with leadership, specifically leadership in terms of the tech environment that we're at. So the title would be leadership, not in a nutshell, because leadership cannot be shrink into a nutshell. So that would be it.
I love it. Now, a little more pertinent to our session here. What advice would you give to other customers who are thinking about embedding analytics or monetizing data?
So I think that embedding analytics is a very easy process. I think the hard part is to understand the model that you want to externalize, to make sure because the product work in analytics is actually defining the model, the fields that you have, the dimensions, the measures, the name of that. This is where you need to spend your time, and then building the UI is the simplest part. Once you have a good model, then the rest is very easy.
Excellent. Speaking of product, how can data leaders think more like product leaders?
I think that everything we do is a product. Everything that we externalize for others to use is a product. I think that once you understand that this is a product, and you understand that the people on the other side that are using your product are people like you start to think of the simplicity, the ease of use, the understandability of the product. Again, measures, dimensions, the names are very important. The names of the model are very important. It's a product. So first you ship out something that you think is good, and then you need to measure the usage of that product to interview users and to think about improving their lives. This is what we do in Wix. We're a product company. So once we ship something, we constantly interview users and measure data to understand how it's being used and how it's being optimized.
Excellent. Well, how about we wrap up the Q&A session with another fun question? And here you go. If the income were not a consideration and you could do anything you wanted, what profession would you choose?
So I think that I'm in the best profession for me, right? So I'm a coder, I'm a programmer. I turn to be a leader, but I think that's the kind of the best thing for me. But if I would need to choose something else, I would probably do something with my hands. I would probably be kind of an inventor, inventing something that is useless for simple, maybe for simple use, or maybe for just to show off my creations. That I would be an inventor. That would be me.
That sounds awesome. Well, Ronnie, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you all for watching the session.
Thank you very much.